Mic check, More Than Masters podcast. It's your host, Nate, of course. I'm back. I am back. Another Thinking Out Loud. I want to say this is number 124. I want to first thank all the supporters, listeners, everybody for listening week in, week out. Y'all been doing an amazing job. Definitely this year has been nothing short of amazing for me and the experience I've had with my audience. The growth of the channel, the growth of the feedback, the interactions, the engagement. I just love it, man. So I want to give a shout out and clap to all of y'all, man, for just being amazing supporters. I know people from here or that live in Augusta don't always give out the support, but I know for myself, speaking for me, there's no support like it. I love all the support I get, even the ones that I have to work for and kind of win them over. It's a different feeling when you win somebody's support over. Like they didn't want to support you at first, but you just were so consistent. You just you kept growing. You just got so good at whatever you was doing that you won them over. And there's no greater feeling than winning over somebody's support. That is great. But definitely shout out to the ones that I didn't have to win over as well, and to the ones that I'm going to win over at some point. So shout out to y'all. So real quick, I want to start with this, man. I haven't done anything out loud in a while. The reason being is because one, I was busy, as you can see, and I'm gonna get into that in a second. But in all seriousness, I think that mentally, sometimes you're in a space where I take my thinking out loud very seriously. To me, it's therapeutic. It always started off to be therapeutic and just more so as a talking point to not just be saying anything. So I never want to come on here and do a thinking out loud to meet a quota, to just give a number. If you remember, just going back, so stay with me, y'all. Just going back, there was a time where I wanted to get to 100, but I couldn't get to 100 like I wanted to because I had all that stuff happen. You know, my mom had a stroke, my dad had passed away, life had changed me for a little bit. And so it was hard to get on camera and talk and try to be motivational, inspirational, give game. I was just in a place of hurt, bitterness, upset. And I didn't want to show that on camera, but I did. I remember real quick, it's just me talking, but shout out to Miss Karen Gordon. I remember her texting me and saying, "I watched it, thinking out loud, da 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 da." And she always supported. And she watched it, and I remember her ending of the message was like, "I just hope that you get the help and the therapy and stuff you need." And even though I know she didn't mean it in a negative way, and I didn't take it that way, it just let me know, okay, damn, whatever I'm going through is showing through my thinking out loud. And so that's why I don't try to get on camera and just speak uh, whenever I feel like it's not needed. When I speak, I want to speak from a place of authenticity. I want to speak from a place of growth, or I'm trying to grow. Sometimes I joke, I play, I laugh. It's just more of a play on words, more just me venting and wanting to be therapeutic. Maybe somebody going through what I'm going through, and so those are reasons why I would do a thinking out loud, or to address some things, or to just you know get order into my business or get order into the episode, maybe address an episode, address a person, and something like that. So I didn't have to do none of those things. I actually just was working. I want to say this. It's been 17 episodes since my last thinking out loud. Clap it up for me. 17 episodes since my last thinking out loud. It's been 2 months since my last thinking out loud. My last thing out loud, I had that Boucher jersey on. I was with the shits, but it's no matter.
Welcome to
It's
More Than Master.
Shilbrook. It's been 2 months since my last thinking out loud. I've done 17 episodes since then. I want to just break down these calculations real quick. It's 4 weeks in a month. Typically, most of us regular podcasters, we put out a podcast a week, right? The great ones do 2 and 3 and all that stuff. You put out a podcast a week. So you think about 4 episodes a month, roughly. It's been 2 months since my last thinking out loud. In those 2 months, I put out 17 full episodes on More Than a Masters podcast. If you do the math on that, right? So you take 2 months times 4, that's 8. So 8 weeks, one episode, 8 episodes. Stay with me now. I have 17 episodes in between now and my last thinking out loud. 17 full-length podcast episodes. Go check them out. More Than Masters podcast on YouTube. That is 2 episodes a week. So clap it up for me. for being able to be consistent, stay grounded, hard work, and really give y'all great value on work. And I'm big on quality over quantity. So for me to do 17 episodes, there was something there. So I know a lot of it came from me highlighting and covering the Clash of the Clashes, which I did a lot of older legendary basketball players from prospective schools, and that was amazing. Shout out to everybody involved with that. Um, so I know I did that. I also did one for a player. I did one for Augusta Hurricanes, which is a pro team in Augusta, Georgia. I had a guy, shout out to Stephen Kendrick, who is widely known, ran for mayor last time, going to run for mayor again. Announced that he's going to run for mayor on my podcast, which is big. Shout out to him. Clap it up for him. Clap it, clap, 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 clap. Um, but I've had some great episodes. My last one, my recent one, my most recent, I had uh, 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 a graduate from A.R. Johnson, who was awarded 17 scholarships, over in the hundreds of thousands of dollars in amounts. Notably a 64,000 one, 20,000 one, 5,000 one. I spoke to her just about her journey and and I thought that was dope to highlight that. Maybe in 4 years after she finished college, or maybe she grow and age and blossom and go through life and let life, you know, uh, alter her viewpoint. She'll come back on and talk and things like that. That'd be a great part two episode. I want to say this real quick before I get into it. I do got a question I want to answer, and I want to tell you why I decided to do a thing aloud today. But I wanted to just kind of address things that happened in the midst of all this. I do want to say I was asked a question. Today's her birthday too. Shout out to Q. I was asked a question about the episode I just talked about. So I posted a clip of the episode on Morning Master's page, put it out. Okay, here, y'all like that, right? So I got a message because Q, who runs the AUG Explain page, she also interviewed the same person, and she had made a post, and it went up. It got a lot of shares, a lot of comments, a lot of likes. And somebody asked me, they said, hey, why would she post this if you just posted that? You don't think that's stepping on, da 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 da, da, right? And I know they meant no harm, but this is why people got to mind their business and just kind of like stay in their lane a little bit. And there's no disrespect to the person, but I want to say this, right? So the backstory to that episode, Q hit me and was like, hey, there's this girl I think you should interview. She has this amount of scholarships, awarded this amount, and just give me a whole rundown, right? And I said, hey, if you want me to do it, you think it's cool, I'll do it. Okay, cool. So we do the interview. Q is there. Her family is there. We do the interview, and afterwards, Q asks questions, right? Here's the thing about that. Q was already going to ask those questions regardless. She didn't need me there to ask the questions. She didn't have to have. That was a good look. That's what we call an alley oop. That's what we call networking. That's what we call, seeing someone that does something great and wanting something great for other people. So it worked out for me because it was a good look for the podcast. That's what I normally do. I highlight people. It's more than the masses. It's everything I'm about. Here you go, man. And also for this young lady, hey, why don't you get on camera? Don't be shy. Let's talk. Let's do this. Let's do this. Here you go. And then in the midst of this, I was going to do this anyway. This is Q talking. I'm going to do this anyway. So let me ask you some questions and highlight you myself. I never looked at it as somebody stepping over or like it's in the way or it's interrupting, because it was something I never was thinking about to do in the first place. I was throwing an alley oop to just dunk the ball or lay the ball up or whatever they want to call it. Like it was just a clear pass for me. I don't think that it was nothing malice about it, or I don't look at, and I don't do divide and conquer. So even if I thought that or I felt that or it was a doubt in my mind, I wouldn't talk about it with just a random person, you know. But I just think that people like to play like people against each other for one, and I don't do the whole you know, divide and conquer thing. So I'm cool with Q. I push what she's doing. I'm behind her 100%. She like what I do. On a side note to that, it's like you do favor for favors, because if I needed something, I'm like, yo, you should highlight that. I feel like I get that back, and it's a lot. It's a lot that go into relationships, right? I think people think relationships, and they always think boyfriend girlfriend, husband wife, just stuff like that. You don't think about business person, creator, influencer. It's different types of relationships. And I think I got a good one with Q. And also, it has benefited me. I remember I had Stephen Kendrick on. That didn't come from me. I didn't know him until we did that episode. Granted, I got my shot. I took it, I won it, and I'm pretty sure me and him speak more now than I've ever spoke to him before. 'Cause I never spoke to him before, but we speak weekly now. But I want to say this to say like that was also an alley oop. So a lot of times people are seeing things and they think they seen it in real time, but the only real time is the time I see and being in the room. But I don't do divide and conquer. I just feel like we all, especially in the podcast space, the influencer space, the creative space, the media space, the news outlet space, journalism space of Augusta, Georgia. I just feel like we all got our own ways of doing things, and I just didn't see where that. And if anybody saw it that way, I didn't view it that way. I viewed it as it was something I was never going to do. I had no idea to do it, and she did. She said, "You know what? Hey, I want to do it this way. I want to do a Q and A. I'm not trying to be on camera. I want to do a more journalistic style, talk to her, get her responses, write them down, put it out on paper, let people read it. Cool. That's what she wanted to do. But also, there's a group of people, a bunch of people, a lot of people that don't want to read, that like to watch. Hey, man, think about doing this. That's how stuff works. It's called relationships. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Q, happy birthday to her. And also just like I said, I don't do the divide and conquer thing. If you know me and I would to speak, I'm not gonna speak ill of any one podcast sense to anybody. If I really, really know you, and even then I ain't gonna speak ill, I think I'll critique a person. But I won't speak ill about nobody to anybody. So you'll never get that from me. So if you're trying to do divide and conquer, it ain't gonna work on me. It might work on somebody else, but not me. I'm just not a hater. I like everybody. I want everybody to win. And shout out to Verge. This is his shirt, by the way. You know what I'm saying? All money in. Shout out to Verge. I just want to phone him today. Verge is funny as hell, man. One of the funniest guys. Hey, real quick, shout out to Verge, my guy. I got to start limiting my phone calls to 5 minutes, man. Me and Verge are going to, we'll be on the phone and probably a 5 minute call, and it'll be 15 minutes because we're going from here to here to here to here to here. I got to start limiting my calls to 5 minutes. Time is money. Time is ticking. I know Verge's got money and got time too. So I want to say this, though. He mentioned earlier, he was like, you're not gonna say it because you're humble, but ain't nobody doing it like you, big bro, da 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 da. And this is how I feel, right? I feel like I'm a dedicated person. I'm doing what I'm doing. I think everybody is dedicated in their own way, form or fashion. Everybody got their own way of doing things, their own route to doing what they want to do. I've been doing it for a little while, and I think people have become accustomed to how I'm doing it. But I do take a lot of pride in a lot of uh, notes and growth and pros and cons into everything I'm doing. And I like to reflect. Real quick, one thing I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to reflect more and deflect less. That's kind of like something I've been thinking about lately. So I've been thinking about a lot of stuff. I might drive with the music off, you know what I'm saying? Like, I might read a passage or something like that. I might watch something. I'm trying to reflect a lot, like reflect on life, reflect on decisions, reflect on things I've done, reflect on how I could have went about things differently, what I could have did better, what I didn't do as well, what I did do well, would I do it again. I've been trying to reflect instead of deflecting and say, hey, this happened because of that. That happened because of this person. That happened because of that. You'll fall into a pits of just like pointing a finger at everybody, and it's like, oh, this is never you. Shout out to Tommy. I was on this podcast last week. Go watch that. This is a plug. This is great stuff I'm doing now. Mind you, I ain't got no notes. I'm just talking. This is free. This is free talking right here. I feel like I'm back into my groove now. I ain't did think a lot of 17 episodes, 2 months. Come on now, do the math. But I was shout out to Tommy. Go watch Tommy the Pilates podcast. I was just on that with my man Juanito, and he asked me like, when's the last time you said you were wrong, right? And that set me back a little bit. Questions normally don't get me because I normally can like control a room. Luckily for me, I do tell my kids and my mom or my brother if I'm wrong or something. So I had a response for it. But you really gotta sit back and think, when the last time you said you were wrong? Like when the last time you heard somebody complain about something, tell you a story about something, and they was wrong. I have a theory. I don't believe people who tell me stories, and in them stories, they never wrong. Something off. There's no way you told me 10 stories and you ain't been wrong and not near one of them. I don't care. if you have to make one, tell me a story where you're wrong, and tell me a story where you say, you know what, I had to check myself, I never hear that from some people. Some people they always right, or they tell you why somebody else is wrong, and they don't see no other way. So I've been trying to like get into more of a reflective bag. I'm typically a reflective person anyway. I don't really deflect. If anybody know me, you could comment or text me or message me, whatever, and tell me now you did deflect this, da da da. I try my best not to deflect. I really reflect a lot, even in my storytelling. If I tell you a story, mad details, mad stories within story, because as I'm telling you the story, I'm reflecting. I want you to feel like you're there so you can reflect. I need as many details as possible so we can create a luminous story. Look at luminous, look at the words. Come on now, stop playing with me. A luminous story. Only thing I think I did do wrong, I was supposed to bring a book with me. I don't think I brought that book. But I want to ask a question. So before I get into that book, because this thinking aloud might get a little deep. It may not. I don't know. It depends on how y'all take it. But I got a question. It's a book that I used to read, and it would ask questions on certain days. And the question it has, I want to explain something, and it goes into what I'm saying right now for all the reflective and the deflective thing, right? Um, that's a. I'm gonna talk about that. That's a big thing. But for me, I think that I have been afforded. Uh, a platform where I'm able to speak, where I'm able to talk to people, through people, to people, and that's been beneficial to me and others. Sometimes I'm talking about things, and it's not my life, it's somebody else's life, but their story made me reflect. Or their story made me think about my life and decisions I've made. Their mistakes made me think about my mistakes or would be mistakes or a time I could have made a mistake or how I could have been in that person's shoes. And I cherish my life or I cherish, where I'm at now. It was a while in my time, everybody know me about 2023, end of that year. I always say it, that had me in a deep space. I was very bitter, very mad at a lot of people, but I was still always there for everybody. And I think that's what set me apart from some people that was in my life at the time, maybe not no more, or that I just know. Like I feel like no matter what storm I had, no matter what I was going through, I was never not there for the people I needed to be there for. And that's better than any award that I could have ever won. Like the fact that I was able to still show up for people when it was hard for me to show up for myself. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna clap it up for myself. I'm gonna appreciate myself and give myself my flowers. Um, Definitely, man. Shout out to y'all. Before I get into it, I do got a live show coming up, man. It's August 31st, 3 to 6 p.m. at Icons, man. Go get your tickets. I will put the link to the tickets in the comments or in the description on YouTube. It is August 31st. 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Make sure you come out and support if you want to support. I would definitely highly appreciate it. I appreciate all my supporters. Whether you come to the show, you don't come to the show. I understand that outside and stuff ain't for everybody, but my goal is always to like just be innovative and do new things. I don't think nobody around here has actually done a live podcast in that sense, and how I'm trying to do it. So I want to be able to do it that way and open the door for more of those, or somebody else to do it, or whatever. I feel like we could have shows, we could have podcast shows. We could rent out a venue for a day and just do podcasts in them all day. We got enough content creators in the city for that, and I would be a part of that definitely. But I definitely want to test it out. Shout out to Dorian Harris, man, for making this happen, and shout out to anybody who complained about support to make this happen. Because without you complaining and whining and bitching, this would not have come true. So I definitely appreciate that. I will thank everybody, any chance I get, whether you made it happen through the positive way or you made it happen through the negative way. I just appreciate every single person that's been a part of this and that have allowed this. So I don't have the book. I'm not gonna get the book. I'm not gonna get off camera and go get it. I'm not doing all that. But what I want to do is this. I want to talk about some things first, and then I may get up and get the book. I don't know. I know the question, but I may get up and get the book. So I feel like age is more than a number. Okay. Um, I think thinking age is nothing but a number is a very lazy way to think, but that's just my opinion. Um, Age should signify things. that it can't always signify. I feel like age should signify wisdom. Age should signify growth. Age should signify proof of life, proof of I've been living, right? But the reality of it is somebody could be 30, 35, 40, 45, and haven't really lived at all. Somebody could be 30, 35, 40, 45, and ain't wise at all. Or somebody could be 30, 35, 40, 45, and have some wisdom, but somebody that's 20, 25 may have more wisdom than that 45-year-old. You might think, well, how was that? That person's 45, that person's 25. And it's about how you use your years, for one. It's about you living, for two. And also, I think it's about that reflecting versus deflecting, right? I think people that reflect on life are often more wise than the average person. Because as you reflect on life, you're able to figure out your faults, your mistakes, someone else's faults, someone else's mistakes, things you could have did better, things you didn't do that great, things you did do great to continue to do it next time. And I feel like as you reflect, you're able to help yourself not make the same decisions over and over and over and over and over again. Or when you in similar situations, you make those decisions differently. You got a different eye for stuff. Your eyesight at 20 shouldn't be your eyesight at 40. I ain't talking 20/20 vision. Stay with me. I'm saying like the way you view a situation at 20, I would hope, unless you was wise at 20, at 40 you view that situation a different way. But like I said, age should signify these things, but it don't always do that because we all live different lives. We all have different ways of going about things. We all handle situations different. And we all either reflect or deflect, so it depends on what you're doing. If you're deflecting, it's kind of hard for you to gain that wisdom because you never know what you did wrong. You just been blaming everybody. And you got people like that, whether it's a job, whether it's school, whether it's your family members, your neighbor, your neighborhood. You got people, don't you? It's people that all they do is complain. Like honestly, they don't do nothing else but complain. Like when you see them, you already know they got 5 complaints loading, just waiting. You smile wrong. Oh my God, it's so hot. Oh my, it's just they're always complaining. People like that don't, to me, they don't grow, in my opinion. I don't feel like they grow. I don't feel like they get wise. I feel like they be stagnant. And that's how you get that 45, 30, 35, 40, 45-year old that that just be. They just be. They can't give you no wisdom, no wrong from right, no reflective answer. Hey man, what'd you do different in your life? I don't know. They don't know. They just been blaming everybody all their life. They ain't never did nothing. They've been blaming everybody all their life. They never sat back, reflect, and said, damn, you know what? I was wilding. Or damn, you know what? Now I think I could have did that this way. And it's nothing about it being on you. It could be how you handle the situation. Damn, you know what? I ain't have to put my hands on that person. I ain't have to go steal that. I ain't have to go sell that. I ain't have to go take part in that activity. I didn't have to do this. Like it's so much different ways to reflect where it's not just on yourself, but it's about everything. It's about how you handle things, right? And so that's why I said age ain't nothing. Age is more than just a number. Um, it should signify things, but it doesn't. But I want to talk about age. I want to talk about reflecting and deflecting. I had a talk with a friend who recently had a baby. Shout out to her. Clap it up for the baby. All right. Pretty good talk. We talked about some things. One thing I don't do, I don't ask people their about their relationships, or they don't ask. I don't care to know because I don't like knowing about my stuff. I don't want anybody in my business. I'm real big. Tell my business, you out of here. Like if I feel like you told my business, just me feeling like it, you out. Like I don't even play like that because who going I feel like in a relationship, who gonna deal with me better than the person who is dealing with me? Not your friend, not your cousin, not your brother, not your uncle. So I feel like that's just me. I know people have this thing of like, I need a male friend to get a male perspective. That nigga ain't me. And I ain't him. So I never, just like if I'm talking to a woman, hey, let me ask you, why the fuck am I asking a random woman or a woman I respect, whatever, I don't care. Fine woman, ugly woman, fat woman, black woman, white woman, don't matter. She's not the woman I'm dealing with. So anything she says is really irrelevant, in my opinion, because she ain't her. But that's the end of that. Anyway, we was talking and instead of like kind of asking and this that, and third, I just assume and I just give. I give. So I gave a part of me that I haven't gave a while. I told a story and we spoke about the possibility of that being talked about more. And she was like, you know what? I think you should do it. So I want to say that. So side note, this book, I'm not getting up. I'm sorry. I made this. I'm not getting up. The book, it's a book I got from Walmart. If you've been following my Thinking Out Loud, you've seen the book before. So I went to today's date, August 8th. Right now it is 9:07 p.m. And it said, "What what do you blame yourself for? What do you blame yourself for?" And I thought about that podcast I did with Tom, and he said, "When's the last time you said you was wrong?" I thought about the divide and conquer with people trying to divide me, Q, and me and other influencers and stuff like that, and podcasters. I thought about things I've done, things I've said to people. I thought about how my actions have led to other things, right? So I said, damn, what do I blame myself? This is today, mind you. What do I blame myself for? Now, instantly, one thing came to mind. I thought about the combo, and I said, damn, I could kind of talk about that. I didn't say her name. Why I said her name just now, but it's fine. It was everybody knew it was her. Shout um, and so I'm like, all right, I kind of could bring that up a little bit. I wouldn't mind. I'm open. I mean, I'm in a reflective state. And so I started to think, and I thought about age, I thought about wisdom, I thought about reflecting and deflecting. So I'm gonna tell you a story. I want to tell it two different ways. I'm gonna tell you the story the first way, the way I told it most of my 20s. I got two kids with the same person. We were together for a while, a long time actually, right? So uh the people would ask when we were no longer together, hey, why'd you guys break up? Why you not together? Why? Motherfuckers is nosy, right? And in real time, at the time, this is what I thought. And what I would go with was things just changed. She just changed. We wasn't doing XYZ no more. It just changed. This, it just changed. Oh, she started acting funny. It just changed. So I'm gonna tell you my story. And this is what I'll tell people randomly, but this is my story. I was like, this is my younger age story. This is my different islands story, but just stay with me. So I would tell people, I said, well, we was together for a while. Everything was good. My mom loved her. She was pretty much part of the family. Then they lived together for the most part. She stayed over there all the time. Everything was good. You saw me, you saw her. It was like that. For the most part. We was pretty much inseparable. All right, cool. You know, Find out she's pregnant. Funny story. I go to my grandmother's house. Shout out to my grandma, man. I miss that lady. I go to my grandma's house. She goes, "You having a baby?" I'm like, "No." Fuck, you know what I'm saying? She said, "Oh, I had a dream. All right, cool." So I go back home and she's home. So I'm like, "Yo, my grandma asked me some crazy ass question like, you having a baby?" Like, what the fuck? I'm laughing my ass off, you know what I'm saying? She not laughing. That should have been my first time, but it is what it is. So we go through the day. I remember the day like it was like yesterday. Just to, life is crazy how I'm about to age myself. We went to Blockbuster, got a movie. Blockbuster is crazy to be in the story, but we're gonna get there, right? We went to Blockbuster, went and got a movie. And we were watching the movie. I love movies. Everybody know that. Watch the movie. Okay, cool. Her attitude just was different that day, right? Cool. She goes to the back, goes to the room, whatever, and I think she just texted me. She was like, "I'm pregnant." Oh. Hence why the joke wasn't funny. All this is the same day. Say the less. Anyway, the pregnancy 9 months, amazing 9 months. I'm involved. I'm going to every single doctor's visit. I'm excited. Like I said, this is my I was with. I'm with. So it's not a thought of like, oh, life is over. This is younger me. I'm not even thinking about life or how hard it's gonna be, or I'm just ready to meet my daughter. I'm ready to meet my daughter. I'm ready to. This is what life is for me now. I'm just ready for that, right? At the time, I owned a restaurant. I co-owned a restaurant with somebody, so I'm working for myself. We are entrepreneurs at the time. and I'm not saving any money. I'm just spending crazy. We buying strollers and all this stuff. I'm just buying like every. Brr, brr. That was a wild cash noise. I'm sorry, I gotta hit a ching button. But
Welcome to the Morning Masters.
chill, bro. That's what I was talking. That's who was coming. Let rock out.
Welcome to the Morning Masters podcast.
Anyway,
By Brooke and
so
Bailey. Rap.
at the time we are going through this pregnancy thing, and it's amazing. It's beautiful. No issues. My mom was so helpful. Like, I mean, my mom really liked her a lot. Loved her. Damn, loved her, right? Mom would do a lot of stuff. Cook, whatever she wanted, my mom would make. She could have said she wanted spaghetti, and then in 10 minutes later, she wanted fried chicken. Mom was making every single thing. My mom cooked so much during that time. Pancakes, breakfast, whatever, like anything she wanted, my mom was doing it for her. Like she did anything. You need something, you want this? I mean, I never seen her like that, right? The whole time. And then, December 6th, my daughter was born. Baby comes. We had a conversation before the baby was born because my mom smoked weed heavily. And I think cigarettes at the time. I wasn't sure. I don't know. But anyway, we had spoke before because we living there. We all living there. And she like, hey, well, if we gonna be here, is your mom gonna smoke when the baby's born? Because it's so we gotta do something different. I'm like, all right, I handle it. This is younger me now. Mind you, I was 20 when Brooke was born. 21 when she was born, but 20 when I found out she was pregnant. So I'm 20 years old. I think I know it all. I think I'm a man. At the time, you couldn't tell me I was a man. I know today I was not a man, but I'm gonna get into that. And so, and so I talked to my mom about it very, very unmanfully, right? And she said, "Oh yeah, sure, da da da. Okay, cool. So everything's cool." Brooke's born in December. Somewhere between, obviously January, February, and March, things take a sharp turn. My mom was smoking in the house still. Um, I guess just me talking, just being real as a reflective. I didn't speak to her about it. I did, but I didn't. It was just like, kind of like one of them. I'm talking to you outside, ma. Hey, how's your day going? Everything going great? Like, not just like me today. I'm not even playing. Like, hey, you can't, But back then, it's just like you so timid. It's your mom. This is your mom. And that's another thing about guys that grow up with their mom. Like you put her here when this lady has carried, my creation. She's right there, if not And it's like I wasn't thinking like that. I deflected. I deflected. I felt like she was being away towards my mom. This is me at 20. I want to keep saying that. Don't kill me, y'all. This is the first side of the story. I ain't tell the second side of the story. This is the first side of the story. This is my side at that age. And so, yeah, I'm like, oh, why she acting crazy? So I'm at this point, I'm kind of distancing myself because I feel away. You know what I'm saying? I saw her have a conversation about my mom on the phone or something like that. I didn't like how the words were being used. I felt like she was leaving a lot, which she never left ever, ever. She was leaving a lot with with Brooke, leaving a lot and going to their house. I'm like, bro, you've been here 10 months, 11 months. Why are you leaving now? So I felt the way. I felt like you were like purposely trying to like deflecting again. I'm thinking she's taking the baby from my family, not another way, which I'll get into later. So, as time go on, if you don't address things, I learned this now. If you don't address things, they just linger and they get worse and they get worse and they get worse until somebody gets fed up or somebody don't care anymore. And they could have been both. I don't know. I can't speak for the other party, but I know for me, I started to develop this, and I do this a lot. I would develop a I don't care shield around me. And I think I developed that a little bit. I always did my duties. I saw them every day. I saw my daughter every day. I never missed a day of Brooke's life for about the first 6 to 8 years of her life. I can't remember because she went on a cruise, something like that, which is why. But I seen her every day. But to say this, that March she left, we still was together and stuff, but it gets strained and strained and strained and strained and strained for so long, and then different things happen and all of that kind of stuff. So the story I would tell to make a long story very long, I know, short, was that she changed. That's the story I would tell. She changed, man. She started telling me what to do and started doing this and, you know, and this happened with my mom. And I'm like, yo, how you gonna treat my mom like that? Da 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 da. These are how I'm looking at it, and this is what I'm saying. This is how I'm feeling. Mind you, I'm 20. I'm a boy. I'm a man. I'm a boy. I'm a man. I'm a boy. I'm 20. I never expressed this to the other party. They never expressed things to me. We just kind of act like it didn't exist because we had known each other so long that was all we knew. So I think we just thought that as long as we had this creation, we was good. I assume. Once again, never really had those kind of conversations. But this is younger, younger us. All right, so I want to tell the story in a reflective way with no deflecting. And I want to bring up a theme, hence why I was talking about this with my friend. The theme would be postpartum depression, right? And age. Before I get into postpartum depression, I feel like that is something that is now talked about more. I never knew that was a thing until I got of a certain age. Damn it, I'm good. I'm good at this. I never knew about that till I got of a certain age that even existed. Age should signify things, right? Age should signify things, but it don't always signify things. I might should have knew what depression meant, postpartum meant. Put them two together, you got the word. At any age, as long as I can read. But I want to say age because I remember getting a phone call from my aunt the day I told everybody that. I'm sorry, I called my aunt the day I was telling everybody, "Hey, having a baby." I told my mom first. She was excited. Told my sister. She was excited. Dawn, he was excited. My grandma, I told you. She was excited. Shout out to my baby. Rest in peace. My dad, he was him. He was him. But nonetheless, happy for me. I called my aunt and she was not excited. Not anything towards Brooke, because Brooke wasn't she was a thing, but you know what I mean.
Welcome to the Morning Master's Pod.
Anyway, she was that thing I'm talking about with age and postpartum depression and all that. She was that. She was like, like you got this going on that you ain't they did shit. It was just real life stuff she was throwing at me. And I remember like, yo, yeah, she happy. You know what I'm saying? Like looking around, cause I'm like, yo, what the fuck was that? She never was talking. Not that she was mad, but just she gave me real life. I'm going on too much. I ain't got that much time. I'm sorry. Let me try to speed this up, but this ain't nothing you can really speed up. I'm trying to give it to you best I can. Hopefully I'm doing a good job. Y'all let me know in the comments. Okay, so back to age. I think it's a reason why you should wait and not rush and have kids when you feel like it's time or when it's ready, when you're mature enough to have kids. Granted, I wouldn't do anything differently because I feel like everything happens for a reason. And if that all that stuff had to happen for me to be and gain some kind of wisdom, then it just had to happen. I think I could have gained some wisdom vicariously through other things or people and situations, but the life I lived, I learned that through me, through my own decisions. So I had to take that, right? And I'm saying I wouldn't change anything because I'm happy with my life right now, right? So I say that to say If you're a certain age or a certain level of maturity, you understand postpartum depression, or you will learn to understand postpartum depression, or try to understand it. Meaning, me saying she changed, she changed, she changed. We had this conversation like, once somebody's pregnant and they carry a child, and then they give birth to that child, that person you knew before that person was pregnant no longer exists. Yes, the same name, social security, and all that stuff. That's cool. That's cute. Don't be funny. Don't be funny. That person no longer exists. This person has carried life, has given birth, has bonded with this this person that he has created. That person is different now for life. They are different forever. There are events that happen. There was a time period of nothing but bonding and thinking and reflecting and envisioning, developing, developing. There's a lot of that going on. That person will never be the same. You'll never get that person back. I want the old XYZ back. That old XYZ died. Hate to be harsh. That motherfucker dead. Hope you find him. Let me tell him I said what's up. They gone. And I didn't know that at the time. Because you gotta think, you with somebody. This the person you with. This the person you love. This the person you with. You see, this is this person. Who's to say that once this person has this experience, y'all experience it together, and now this person is this person now. That person is gone. They left. If you see him, tell him I said hi. It's this person now. This new person, y'all may not mesh. It's very possible. The thing about that with women is a lot of times the women change and the other person don't. It's like we both butterfly, but we both like got this stage, but I went to this last stage. You didn't go with me, but you can during that whole 9 months. But I feel like that I always feel like that needs to be spoken about more about about some things that men can do or another party can do to try to also blossom, develop, grow, change with that person because you are no longer that person as well now. You also have stake in this new life, this baby, right? So I'm gonna tell a story through what I would assume to be postpartum depression. And I'm gonna tell it through another person's lens, not speaking for that person, but me being reflective. I'm gonna tell you how I see it now and why. To answer the question to begin with, what do you blame yourself for? I'm gonna answer the question. I'm gonna tell a story. So I told my version of it, my 20-year-old version. This is my new version. I ain't telling my age no more. I'm at that age now. I'm at that age, but I ain't telling my age. I ain't telling that age. I'm at the age where I ain't telling my age. I'm at the age where if you did it, I want you locked up. I'm at the age where I don't want to see no lawyer posting about getting people off. No, I need the streets clean of criminals. I'm at that age. I'm sorry. But that's a whole nother podcast I got set up. The I'm at that age podcast. In the comments, tell me what age you at right now. I'm at the age where blank. Let me know that. But definitely if you did it, go to jail. Nah, but to tell a story, I see somebody who was with somebody, with a family, right? Um, grew to love the family, around that family, got pregnant, had an amazing 9-month pregnancy, but thought things would be a certain way because of what they were told by somebody. Maybe they looked at like a man who wasn't a man. I'ma handle it, right? Cool. It doesn't get handled. Well, I had a baby. I'm the old version. The old version of myself is no longer there. Once I had this baby, I became a new version. I became more of a general, more demanding of what I want for me and mine, more intentional. It may seem like I'm being irrational at times. It may seem like I'm being anal at times. But for this creation, this baby that I brought into this world, I'm going to do that. Yeah, I may not be as nice as I used to be. I may not be like I used to be, but I'm not who I used to be. I'm somebody else now. I was told that I could stay here and that this was their circumstances. I stay here. Somebody didn't keep their end of the bargain up. Those circumstances that I thought would not be here are here. I gotta make a decision. I gave you 3 months. Okay, decision not made. Hey, I'm gone. Y'all can come see the baby over here. Right? I say that she changed this and this, but you're looking at it that way. That's real. Oh, let me add on top of that. Postpartum depression. I don't feel like myself. That's deep. Damn. I don't feel like myself. I gain weight. My body don't feel the same. I can't just get up and do what I want to do like I used to do. I'm tired. A lot of things I can say. I'm gonna just use those five for lack of time. A lot of things I can say, right? But just think of those five on a daily basis. Though it's not like I feel it right now. Every day I brush my teeth, I wash my face. I can't wash and be peaceful. You know, who knows what all the factors um, this person may be having or anybody may have during postpartum depression. So now you're already depressed, you're in a depressive state. I don't know who to talk to. I'm in a home that's not my family. It's my family, but it's not my family. And I can't talk to y'all about y'all. And I'm depressed. And I can't talk to y'all about y'all. Y'all aggressive anyway. So I don't even feel comfortable talking to y'all about y'all. I got somebody to protect here. You said you was gonna handle it. You be young, but you a man to me. Reflecting, I just didn't look at it that way until I got older. Until I understood what it was to be a man, to be in charge of something, to be a leader or a head of something. And that's another thing. It's postpartum depression, but it's like, hey, you're leading. You said you would do this. You didn't do this. And so now I'm going to react to you not doing that. But in my mind at that time, I'm thinking like, yo, why is she acting? I, I didn't I, I didn't change that old me. The day she told me she was pregnant, the pregnancy, watching the birth, holding it all, it's cool, it's cute, it's a lovely feeling, right? But I can sit here and tell you in that time, whatever day I found out she was pregnant, whatever day that was, let's say it was January 1st, I don't know. Whatever day I found out, the next I was the same person. And that sometimes be the problem. I didn't really grow. And I had a lot. I had my own stuff also going on. I lost my business. Once again, I was bitter, right? I lost my business, so I wasn't making the same amount of money. Didn't save. There's a lot of issues that I made. So when they asked me, what do you blame yourself for? I really blame myself for like not being a good leader of something I was supposed to lead. Because I didn't do the things that I was supposed to do. I deflected a lot of stuff and I made it about something it was never about. It was never about somebody treating my mom a certain way. Hell, my mom was treating somebody else a certain way. Why didn't I have the wherewithal to be like, yo, ma, you out of pocket, bro? Like, this is my seed. This is my kid in here. She's an infant. We can't be smoking in here. Like, why didn't I just have that conversation? Today I would. Back then, eh, you know? Um, being reflective, just wanting to reflect. These are things I think about sometimes. Once again, I wouldn't change too much things in my life. I'm cool where my life is. I'm cool with where I'm at today. I'm able to make different decisions based off decisions I didn't make, based off things I didn't do. So even though I don't feel like I could tell more details of this story, of course, but for time, I don't have the time. I could tell it more in more detail, even on both sides. Even on both sides. It was a lot of arguments and stuff that happened after that. A lot of uh, situations, a lot of relationships were altered because of that. Now my mom and my at the time girlfriend, mother of my kid. I don't say baby mom ever. Mother of my kid. Like they at odds. What's a man to do? What's a boy to do that think he's a man? Your queen, your mom, the person that raised you, right? The person that gave birth to your princess, you know? Me today, I would sit them both down. We had that conversation. It'd be hard. Maybe it'd be disliked, but you get order. You get order. Once again, lens, age. 40 years old, 35 years old, 30 something years old, my age now. Order to me is clarity. Order to me is knowing where you stand, drawing a line. Order to me is like sitting everybody down and making sure it's organized, making sure that we all know what's what, communication. 20-year-old order to me was quiet. As long as it was quiet, I ain't gonna lie to you. Problem here, problem there, problem there, problem there, problem there. Shh. Act like I don't see it. I'm gonna play games, I'm playing the game. I'm deflecting. That's order to me at 20 years old. Today, that's chaos. But at 20, that was order to me. And so when I'm asked those questions and I reflect a lot, honestly. As I reflect on that, I realize where I may have went wrong. Not to say that another party couldn't have went wrong and didn't do this, because obviously there's more to it than just that. It's not like that's what really broke us up. But that's the answer I would give, because I knew where it stemmed from. So I had time, years really, if you think about it, to detach myself from something where I could have really pressed on, got order, got some understanding, some straightening, if you will, and really took care of that. So that's one thing I blame myself for, because I feel like I may have been looked at as a leader because of my gender, maybe because of how I spoke at the time. I don't know, because it's just natural for women to want to be led. But I just wasn't a leader at that time. I just wasn't. I might have thought I was. I wasn't a man at that time. I might have thought I was, but just go back to age to me. Go back to reflecting, deflecting. I never reflected on none of that stuff in real time. I deflected 24/7. It was all, and then what I did was I went around people who also deflected. Mind you, they were older than me. They were supposed to be more wise than me. Age is more than a number. Sometimes age should signify things that it don't. And that's what I was around. Like, I'm around somebody who's saying, like, yeah, because this, this, this. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, hell yeah. What the kids saying that? You know what? Hell yeah. It ain't my fault. Yeah, like, why she acting like, why? Like, come on, we was cooking for you, making baked beans, spaghetti, fish grits, pancakes, crust on the side. Like, why would you, like, how you going to switch up? That was 20-year-old me thinking, 21, 21. That's how I was thinking. I never thought about how somebody felt postpartum depression, on top of you just feeling your own feelings, on top of you seeing everything that you've imagined, your family, it is crumbling. Like, I just didn't think of those things at the time. It was honestly zero, zilch, zero thought. It was zero thought. It was strictly you in the way, mom dudes. And people not now y'all beefing. Now this person be. It was a lot of chaos. I'm like, hey, shh. I don't care. I don't care. At the time, quietness was chaos. I mean, quietness was order to me, you know? So when I look back and I reflect on things like that, uh, this is why I am the way I am now. Some people might feel like I do too much now, like, oh, you too vocal. Oh, you a bully. I'm not a bully. I don't know where this come from, this bully antic thing. Blah, blah, blah. I ain't never been no bully. I ain't never bothered nobody that didn't bother me first. Anybody that I bothered, that you see me bother publicly, or that I pick at or I poke at, they done did something to me first, and either they did something where it went too far and I had to just really take it there, where like a one-hitter quitter, or I just felt like I'm gonna bother you forever now. I ain't never start nothing. You can't name a time I started something. Niggas be I ain't getting into that. People be tagging me. I ain't. Anyway, that's why I am the way I am now. I try to really be all hands on with stuff, even down to the podcast, Born the Masters, the parenthood, friendships, relationships, not boyfriend girlfriend so to speak, but even that, but not boyfriend girlfriend so to speak, but relationships with people. Like I try to have a handle on everything. I want to talk it out if possible. I want to communicate. I want to tell you as many details to a story. Let me know if I'm tripping. Pull me to the side. I want to reflect on what I did wrong. That's how I am now. Because I done lived, I done experienced, I done been depressed, I done experienced the lows of shh, I'm just gonna act like nothing happened. I done experienced that already. That ruined the family. For I've experienced that already. Um and so yeah, when I get asked the question of what do you blame yourself for? I blame myself for that, for not living up to what I should have lived up to at a time where people may have been relying on me to live up to what I needed to live up to. And so I blame myself for that because I reflect, I've seen where I've had misses or I had misses when I should have had bullseye hits. And a lot of this come from a conversation I had with a friend for real, for real, for real, that a special friend for real that I talk to, and something that they're going to. I'm not gonna say their business, but I feel like that made me reflect more because I feel like if you get older and you still deflecting, you will grow to be very bitter, and it's gonna do more harm than not to continuously deflect, and not see any fault of your own in your actions or things that you do or things that you've done. I think we always say the first step is admitting. The first step is admitting. I agree. But it has to be more than just admitting. It has to be more than just saying, okay, hey, I did this wrong. Okay, well, what could you have done differently? You got to reflect. Where did you go wrong? At what point? Why do you feel like that's wrong? And I feel like I've done that all just speaking in this, but I made my peace with that a while ago, and me personally. And I feel like I do a great job parenting. We do a great job co-parenting. And things we've been through, we were able to talk about things with our kids as far as the whys, the this, the that, in a very healthy manner for that reason. And so I'm comfortable with life now, but I do feel like that reflecting and deflecting is super important. I would definitely urge all people to do it, especially if you had a baby and you think things are different, or you feel like you're stressed out, or any women that's taking this man's side over the new mom. Think about them things. Think about postpartum depression and what that means on top of life. Think about life, right? Life is hard for everybody. Think about how hard life is for you. Add depression on top of that, a baby on top of that, somebody who that you with who hasn't changed on top of that. It's a lot that go on, and that's a lot of us. A lot of us don't change. A lot of us men, I'm talking about, we don't change during this process. Them 9 months, we're just being cute. Oh yeah, I can't wait. I can't. We waiting for other stuff. Them 6 weeks, we trying to, you know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to. You all right? You need. It's a lot that go on. So I really wasn't trying to be over an hour. That wasn't the gist of what I wanted to do. But I got the urge today. I got a text to say and it said, "I can't wait for your next thinking out loud." And I was like, "Damn, I really ain't did a thinking out loud in so long." But I feel like I really ain't had too much to say. I was working. I was doing my stuff. And let me tell you, when I said I was working, I was getting off at 5, checking on my mom for about an hour and some change, leaving the house at 6:30, yeah, about 6:30 to get to the gym at 7. Set up all these times, set up, make magic, go back, edit it, put it out the next day. The next day, do the same thing. Like I was really working. So I hope that you guys appreciated it. I hope that you appreciated this. Give me your feedback. If you got a story, let me know. If you want me to do a certain kind of thinking out loud, let me know. The show, August 31st. Y'all be there, please. Sunday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Icons. Um, I really appreciate everything that y'all do, everything y'all say to me. Doesn't go unnoticed. I love all the newfound respect. I love all the newfound audience, listeners. Um, One Masters podcast be out. I hope I feel like I'm supposed to say something else, but I just feel like that was a good flow. Let me know. Rate this thinking out loud to me, man. Out of 10. Give me. I'm fine with that. If you watching this, rate this thinking out loud on a scale of 1 to 10. Anybody who relates, let me know what you relate to. Put in the comments. Message me personally. Whatever you want to do. I want some kind of engagement on something like this. I feel like I opened up a little bit, and I just want to engage. So without further ado, One Masters podcast. Your host, man, of course, be out.
Welcome to the Morning Masters podcast brought by Nick and Bailey.